Sainz on pole, Perez alongside him. It's lights out and away we go. Sainz reacts quickest. Perez comes across to cover off Fernando Alonso, who's almost on the grass, but he's ahead of Sergio Perez. Sainz goes into the first corner, then comes Alonso. Lewis Hamilton round the outside of George Russell. Perez has lost places right at the start, as on the run down to Eau Rouge we go now, and you can see a brilliant start from Sebastian Vettel, who's already alongside Daniel Ricciardo. Into Eau Rouge, Ricciardo just ahead of the Aston Martin. Over Radion we go, and onto the Camel Straight where Carlos Sainz is a long way clear. Behind him comes Fernando Alonso, and there's the two Aston Martins squabbling, and behind Fernando Alonso it's his old teammate Lewis Hamilton. Here comes Hamilton into the Lecombe chicane, and they make contact. Hamilton rises up into the air, he's made contact with Fernando Alonso. George Russell goes through, there's the Aston Martin of Lance Stroll onto the gravel, and that was Alonso and Hamilton getting too close together, tangling, but they both managed to carry on.
It looks to me as if Lewis comes in and pinches him a little bit. Yeah, that's not Fernando's fault. He was on the curb, under control, wasn't understeering across the road.
What an idiot, closing the door from the outside. We had a mega start, but yeah, this guy only knows how to drive starting first.
As Ocon loses a place and onto the gravel, the Williams spinning and then tagging the Alfa Romeo, Nicholas Latifi.
So Latifi gets wide, more than dips the tyres in the gravel, stays on the throttle, and then the merest touch, but around goes the Alfa Romeo.
So they've seen something they don't quite like on Charles Leclerc's Ferrari.
So there was a tear off inside the front right brake cooling. We removed it, everything should be okay now.
There's a couple of car lengths between Ricciardo and Verstappen. That is getting overhauled quite substantially. Into the bus stop chicane we go. Max Verstappen started 14th, is now up into 6th place. So we saw what Max Verstappen did to Daniel Ricciardo on the last lap. Here's Sebastian Vettel now on the outside and Max Verstappen on the inside. And Vettel, you get the feeling, was using his years of experience not to fight that one for too much longer. Up the climb to Radion we go with the Alpine ahead of the Red Bull, and look how Max Verstappen, now we get to the DRS point, starts to close up. 8.5 miles an hour, extra pace. Fernando Alonso moves aside, lets Max Verstappen go through because he knows there's no point fighting it. He just hasn't got the tools to do it.
Verstappen's got to pass a car, at least one car every lap.
What, like that?
Yeah, exactly like that.
Max Verstappen just proving your point as you were even delivering the line. He is now up into the podium places.
Now, this is what Max is saying. We're losing time here, and now they're in for the undercut situation, aren't they? Ferrari puts on new tyres, and Red Bull, this is where Max needs to be pumping in his best stuff.
As along the Camel Straight, Max Verstappen gets past his teammate Sergio Perez, and Carlos Sainz comes back out onto the track, our race leader, behind Daniel Ricciardo and ahead of Lance Stroll.
Leclerc stopping earlier, of course, didn't he, with the safety car, with a cheap stop. Not a good time to have to do it, but you lose less time when everybody else is being slow behind the safety car on lap 4, if you remember.
Verstappen was 22 seconds at the end of the last lap ahead of Charles Leclerc.
Crofty, he held a little bit there, but on he goes. You'll just hear him come by me now. Where is he going to join the track? But thermal dig will be the big key, and there's obviously Sainz come by now.
Now, has that Mercedes got any pace down the back straight, the Camel Straight, with DRS to make a move here on Charles Leclerc? This is going to be really tight going into the Lecombe chicane, because look, George Russell's gaining, and he's just ahead. Under braking, George Russell puts his Mercedes ahead of the Ferrari of Charles Leclerc and up into 4th place. And guess what? The DRS has been powerful. Guess what? I rather think Max Verstappen is about to retake the lead, and this time not because of any pit stop for the Ferrari, but because of the pace of the Red Bull. Here it comes, Max Verstappen into Lecombe chicane, leads the Belgian Grand Prix once more, and they rather like that, those that have dressed in orange. Camera angle there does not do justice to the climb from Eau Rouge up to the top of the hill at Radion, but it is a great way to see how Sergio Perez is closing in on Carlos Sainz, and Sainz, I think, knew long before Perez got alongside him he wasn't going to be able to fight that for much longer. It's Verstappen 1, Perez 2, Red Bull out in front. Lovely work from Sebastian Vettel into turn 1, allowed Pierre Gasly to go a little bit deeper and then got him with the old switcheroo on the return.
No good getting older if you don't get wiser, and yeah, very Very nice move there from Seb, but look at this.
He's got 2 queuing up behind him here. There's 3 abreast as the AlphaTauri of Gasly retakes the advantage over Sebastian Vettel, and the Alpine of Ocon goes round the outside and says, thank you very much indeed, I'll have that.
That's the second time in this race Ocon's taken 2 cars in one corner, isn't it?
Yeah. Vettel is going to go into the right-hander now and retake that position on Pierre Gasly going through Rivage. As in comes Charles Leclerc for Ferrari to put on a set of soft tyres to go for the fastest lap of the race. Alonso makes his way out of the first corner, and he's only a couple of car lengths behind Charles Leclerc, and he's got the momentum going down the hill. And now he's got a slipstream and DRS right behind the Ferrari of Charles Leclerc. They've gone for the fastest lap gamble here on the last lap. Fernando Alonso is going to make that a little bit tough by getting past Charles Leclerc and taking 5th place in this race. Charles Leclerc pulls out from behind the Alpine, does snatch back that 5th place from Fernando Alonso, so it's all well that ends well for Charles Leclerc. It's all well that ends well for Max Verstappen, who's sliding his way out of the final corner and taking the line, winning the Belgian Grand Prix for a 2nd year in a row. It's a 9th victory in Formula 1 in 2022 for the reigning world champion. Charles Leclerc, by the way, has been noted for speeding in the pit lane. He has been given a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. He will finish the race 6th
because of that pit stop
behind Fernando Alonso. As champion, he's gone away for a rest in the summer. He's come back and he's looked better than ever. This was a class performance from Max Verstappen, who wins for the 2nd year in a row the Belgian Grand Prix.